Sorry, I had my I had the agenda up and then it's gone. Here it is. Okay, welcome everyone to the VAC meeting Thursday, February 24th, 2022. I do want to let everyone know we do have a couple of guests here today, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Karen Allen from Military One Source and Shannon from National Guard Transitions are here. If you guys like to introduce yourself.
Okay.
And they're just getting connected. If I'm not mistaken.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Compton. I'm a transition assistance advisor. Basically, I work for all reserve component transition folks as they're moving from deployments, to deployments, retiring, ETSing out. And again, that encompasses all services. Sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. But that's kind of what I do for the folks is once they're headed back into the force or out of the force, kind of help them through their benefits process, things of that nature.
Hi there.
Hello.
So go ahead.
Hello, this is Betty Fish Ferguson, and I don't know why my video is not working. I'm a retired Navy nurse and I'm new to the committee.
Okay. Hello, I'm Karen Allen and I'm with Military One Source. I'm the state consultant for Oregon. And of course, we're a Department of Defense program for all of our active duty National Guard and Reserve members and their dependents, as well as wounded warriors, survivors, and caregivers. So thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you both for being here. I really appreciate that. Also, we do have new members that were just approved by the Board of County Commissions, the commissioners, excuse me. And I seem to have lost my agenda again. I apologize. Our new members, do they want to take the time to introduce themselves? I know Betty Fish has just introduced herself. I know we have some more members here. If you'd like to introduce yourself now that you're officially on board here with us.
Yeah, hi, my name's Greg Freetag. I don't know why my box says John. I was in the Army for 8.5 years, and I'm just kind of looking forward to giving back to people that have kind of helped me through my really rough transition.
And I'm Janet Freeman. I'm glad to hear I was officially selected or approved to be on the board. So, I'm a registered nurse by training, but I'm a mom of two Marines and the daughter of a Navy vet. And I'm here to help hopefully provide that perspective of the family members who support their military personnel. So, and also learn more about what's available in Clackamas County for our vets. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is establishing a quorum. And I know some members have messaged that they won't be here today, but I do believe we still do have a quorum, correct? If I'm not mistaken, Amy?
Yes, we still have a quorum today.
Excellent.
We're good to go.
Thank you. The next order of business is the adoption of minutes. These are the minutes here from the January 27th meeting of 2022. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes as they are presented?
I make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes from the January 27th, 2022 meeting, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All who oppose? Motion passes. Minutes are adopted. Yeah, next on the agenda is the chair's report. The first thing on here is member recruitment strategies. I think in the executive meeting, we discussed a little bit about this as far as trying to figure out what we can do to increase and encourage more membership. I think we discussed a little bit about social media, having a better presence on social media or greater presence if possible. But if there are other ideas out there on increasing the recruitment or doing better in terms of recruitment on how we reach on outreach in terms of that nature, we are open to that so we can get that going. I know, like I said, social media is a big platform, and that could be a huge component, but it's not the only way. So if anybody out there has any ideas, anything that they'd like to present now, that would be great, just to throw out there that we can kind of mull around. If not, just keep it in mind going forward, because obviously we do want to make sure that we increase our recruitment and participation in this group, because we do have some open seats available.
Adam?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't we put up a flyer at like the West Lynn Clinic for recruitment?
That's a great idea. I know we did discuss about flyers before, flyers that have been made in the past, not necessarily that we've done on the VAC, but I think that's a great idea. Any way that we can get it out there, I mean, outside of social media would be great. The clinics, excellent. I would even say an email campaign. We do have a list of some vets, if I'm not mistaken, that we have some contact info on, maybe a text message campaign, something of that nature as well, just to get us out there and let them know that we're encouraging people to join, to sign up, or even to let other people that they may know join as well. So yes, a flyer would be great. Is there any other option? And that's something that we can discuss further on what we would want that flyer to say and look like.
Well, several months ago, Adam, this is Casey. Hey, several months ago, oh God, actually it was longer than that. We had talked about doing like a small card, two-sided card with information about the VAC, what it is we do, a little information about the committees, so that people could take them to events and stuff that they were attending and going to. But I don't know whatever happened. Brenda said that there was a little bit of money that she could share with us to have something like that made up. Is she there?
Brenda?
And
Yeah, she's here.
I can't, I'm on my tablet, so I can't see everybody.
I'm sorry, I was responding to a chat and I got, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
Brenda, do you remember a while back when we were talking about maybe doing like a small two-sided card with information about the VAC? You'd said that there was a little bit of money that we could do to have something like that made up, to have them printed off.
Yes, we can definitely do
That's
that.
what I
Yeah.
was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and then that way we've all got some with us. So, you know, any meetings or events or anything we go to, you know, within Clackamas County, we can have those to share with people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
also
something
want
like
to
that'd be
take,
a lot easier. Sorry, Brenda, go ahead.
No.
I was just saying,
I
I think the little cards like that would work better than there's that little delay. Would be easier to carry around than, you know, a flyer of some kind.
yeah. So we're very fortunate in Clackamas County to have an excellent team of marketing professionals. So what we'll do is we'll do a little more talking about this at the executive committee, and then we'll bring in the PGA team and get something final and get something out. I think it's a great idea. I do want to take a moment to apologize to Brooke and Amy. You're very welcome here. I was responding to a chat and I accidentally responded to all, and I'm seeing now that my response may seem a little rude. So you both are very welcome to be here. If you just maybe like to just take a moment to introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brooke. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I work in the DD program, and Amy and I are here today just to observe the council because we're working on building our DD council. So we just kind of wanted to see how it runs and how we can help structure it. So thank you for letting me sit in.
Fantastic. Welcome.
I would like to ask that we try to do a special invite to some, to get more people of color involved into the VAC. We don't have, there's a significant African-American population of veterans. And I would love to see a face and an involvement here. Thank you.
How do you find those veterans?
There's got to be some way that we can make that contact, but we need to make sure that we're stepping out in a positive way to try to invite people of color into this process because they represent a significant amount of our veterans population.
I agree, but we need to know where to find them if there's a group or something like that. Otherwise, I just don't run into them.
Good point, Paul. And that's another point of reaching out to him, which I have a point on that, but I want to get to the people with their hand raised. Gus, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that Amy got a chance to introduce herself. I think Brooke was finishing up and I don't think Amy got a chance to.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gus. Hi, guys. I'm Amy Butler. I also work on the DD team. Basically what Brooke said, we are working on building our DD council and are, at the very beginning stages of it. It kind of got, after COVID, it just kind of fell apart. So we're getting it back together and just wanted to see what a running council looks like. So thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Casey, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I would want to know if Brooke or Amy would please let us know what DD means. What is that acronym for?
Yes, absolutely. We're with the Developmental Disabilities Program.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey, for that. And actually getting to Paul's comment, and it kind of tied into the calendar because we did discuss about a calendar and it's like a veterans activities calendar that the commission would like us to start using. Obviously, there's not a lot of events or activities going on right now, but I think if we use that calendar and then maybe create a group within our group, like an outreach group that we have, actually a subcommittee, that can go to these events with those cards, these veteran events. And maybe that would be a good way to introduce ourselves at the gate, if it's a gated event or whatever the event may be, with those contact cards and explain a little bit about what we do, or a flyer, whichever one we decide to do. But I think if we tie in whatever veteran activities are going on in the county and we have a team of us ready and able to go out there and meet them and hand those cards out, I think that would be very effective too. And maybe also another way to get more veterans of color, more outreach to veterans of color as well. On the agenda, if nobody else has any other comments on that, and we'll continue to work on that. We do have expectations around VAC membership. I know we discussed a little bit about this on the last meeting, but communication is key, especially when it comes to not being able to attend the meetings, which for the most part, everyone's done a great job of that. But sometimes we go a few weeks without hearing from people, and the attendance does matter. Attendance does matter. It's in our bylaws. If you miss a number of meetings and it's unexcused, then it's grounds for removal from the council, which we don't want to. We're having a hard time recruiting members. We don't want to lose members, but we also need to hold everyone accountable to what they've agreed to be a part of. And that, I mean, attendance is something we can definitely start with. So I would just ask that as part of our membership, we do demand a little bit more from ourselves in terms of attendance for those of us that may not be able to attend for whatever reason. I mean, that's totally fine. As long as you communicate that with us, there's no issue there. It's just when we don't hear from anybody and there's a lack of communication, they fall off the wayside. I think that also adds to us. These are the little things that we can do better that can lead to us accomplishing more of our goals as well. And just with attendance as well, also around what we're doing. We have a lot of good ideas on the things that we want to do, but we really need to figure out how to put those ideas in motion. And I know some of it has to do with funding, which is going to lead me into the next part of the report, is the funding for the American Rescue Plan Act. And there's a link that I'm glad Brenda provided, because I was trying to hear back from some people, but with everything going on, it was kind of difficult to get that information. But it does look like, from what I understand, there is another round of funds being distributed in May, but they're specific in terms of how they disperse those funds within certain categories. And if I can pull up the site, then I'll be able to at least show you the categories that they have that determine how they disperse the funding. Excuse me 1 second while I do this. I'm just looking for the link, if I have it. I can't pull it up right now. Give me a second. Sorry, guys.
Adam, I believe I found it for you.
Did you? Okay, thank you. Is there a way we could pull that up so we can share it?
Can you see it at the moment there on the screen?
Oh yeah, I do. Sorry, I was in my email.
Oh, no. Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so yes, this is goes into a little bit of detail about what like how they disperse the funds and what it can be used for. And it's quite a bit of funding. There seems like quite a bit of funding, and a lot of it is going to obviously most of it's going to the prevention of COVID and the spread. A lot of it is, and that's one of the subjects or one of the categories is support public health response. Now in front of us is the 5 categories that they have. It's the other ones are address negative economic impacts, replace public sector revenue loss, invest in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure, premium pay for essential workers. So I think for us, it's probably going to be, if we're looking to try to get some funding from this to do some of the things that we'd like to do, I would say that mental health has been a major part of COVID-19. There's a huge correlation between that. And I'm wondering if it's possible especially for for what we're doing in the subcommittee for mental health, if it's something that maybe we could propose to get funding for the mental health summit that we're looking to put on, because I mean, it does relate directly with COVID-19, and especially with all the events currently going on in the world. I would have to say that it is part of the public health response. I'd like to hear from others though on this.
I had a question. This is Janet. And is this available to the public as well on the website, or is this information?
We can post the Amy, could you post the link in the chat?
Okay, I just hadn't searched for it. And if you click on the links, like where it says support public, is that a live link to what the criteria is to fall into that bucket of, like the health and recovery, sewer, and all that? Like, it looked like a hyperlink underneath that. I was just curious about if they have criteria spelled out as far as, is it like I'm not as familiar with your process of getting funds for the council, but is it like a grant kind of where you apply and ask for funds and state your business reasons or your argument as why some should be allocated and what you're going to use it for? Is that how that works?
And that's the next question. That's I'm hoping maybe Brenda might have some better info on this, because when you click on the link, it just tells you what they've allocated the funds for. So it says it can go toward certain public health related activities that help stop the spread of COVID-19 virus and address treatment care stemming from it, which I mean, I don't know if there's if it's just strictly COVID-19, or if you can argue that the mental health crisis right now stemming from COVID-19, I would assume would fall under that category, but I don't know. It doesn't go into much more detail other than that, and then just what they've allocated, how much they've allocated so far to things. But I don't know if Brenda has more.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of information. I'm not super well versed in this, but what I can share is that once the county understood the funds that would be available through the American Rescue Plan, there was a community-wide survey that was put out that the county asked for input. So somewhere on that page, on that internet page, there is information about the process that the county went through in order to prioritize the use of these funds. I know that about half of the funds have been allocated, and there is a time period through which the second roughly half of the funds will be distributed. I don't know if there's going to be a public process for that second half, or if it's just going to really sort of adhere to what that first survey, the first public survey that went out. These tend to be relatively large requests, again, sort of geared towards those 5 larger topic areas that were identified.
If I could make a comment in this one, excuse me for doing it, but I would love to see a PTSD and intervention specialists that's targeted really at suicide prevention, but intervention where it merges and where we have like a 3-year staffing of a specialist that would be able to be available in the county, working on intervention, just dedicated to veterans. And if in fact that could be done, maybe we can save more lives.
So we'll go to Casey next. She's had her hand up. I'll just say that I will do some more research internally to see what the process is. I don't want us all to get our hopes up that there's going to be some additional funds, that the county has these pretty much all allocated out already.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to, I mean, if there's an opportunity to potentially, I just think it's something we should at least look into. But yes, thank you for that. And then Casey did have her hand up. Go ahead, Casey, sorry.
I'm sorry. So I want to go back to what Paul said about a specific group of people invited in. I think if we're going to go and we're going to try to recruit in other cultures, I think we need to be aware of what they want to be called. So they're not called Blacks, they're not called African Americans, it's part of the BIPOC community. And I think part of our inclusion and equity and our culture stuff, we need to make sure that when we're talking about people from other culture, that we're being very culturally respectful as far as how we're going to talk about these types of people. So I think that we just need to really be aware of that. It's very, very important. We're not going to get people to come into the VAC if we don't know how to present to them. You know, that's like I can't figure out what it is I'm trying to say, but I just think we need to be culturally competent when we reach out to the different cultures of people to try and bring them into the VAC. It's a very touchy subject these days, and so we need to make sure that we're educating ourselves on that. As far as funding for the mental health summit, I think we can go in bigger detail on that in the next meeting. That's something we're going to need to be talking about. There's also maybe Brenda can find out some information if we can apply for the Clackamas County, if we can get a nonprofit to apply on our behalf to the Clackamas County grant in July is another possible option. So maybe we can have a more in-depth conversation about that at our next behavioral health meeting, and anybody that is at the meeting today is more than welcome to be there.
Thank you, Casey. If no one else has comments, the next thing on the agenda is about the survey with Gus.
And Adam, it looks like the updated agenda did not get attached to the meeting invite. So we're going to hold off on the survey report for 1 more month, give Gus a little more time to collect information.
I apologize. All right, moving on to the next thing on the agenda here. Employment update with Ken.
Hello, folks. My name is Ken Beechek. I just let's shift gears on the employment side of things for just a moment. I work for Clackamas County. I do the Veterans Employment Program here in the county, and the parent company is Children, Family, and Community Connections. Amy, if you could share your screen and put the first flyer up there, and I'm just going to put these flyers up just so we can, I'm not going to read right through them, but I'm going to kind of give you a little overview of what we've got going on here. So what is the program? And first, before I go any further, I did not serve. I always let folks know I did not finish my enrollment, and I could not, I have not served in the military, but I've been doing this for about 25 years, and the last 10 years with Clackamas County and the Veterans Program here for employment purposes. But yeah, let's talk. And please feel free, folks, to, if you have any questions along the way, holler, let me know. There's a lot to go over, and I know I've only got about 20 minutes or so, but please feel free to ask, I'll have some questions and answers at the end here, but stop me along the way. So what is it that we do? It's customized case management. It is job development. It is building plans for veterans to get them back into the workforce, get them moving back in the right direction. Boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of cool tools that we have that we can use, that we do use. I'll say that the wraparound services they get when they come to me, the referrals come from all over the county, and all over the state, literally. As long as they live in Clackamas County, I can work with them or have ties to Clackamas County. And they're looking for a job. They're looking for a career path. If it's somebody that's just looking for a resume and needs a little help, I can do that too. But we don't bring those into program. We don't bring those in and put them in plan. I'm serving those that really need that extra approach. The ones that have the traumatic brain injuries, the ones that have PTSD, criminal backgrounds, horrible backgrounds. But they're, as long as they're a veteran and they've served a little bit of time, I'm going to provide services for them. So let's talk about a little bit of the wraparound services. If somebody is referred to me, I will meet with them and spend time with them. And it's really kind of crucial to find out what they really are looking for. We assess their background, their needs, their interests, their skills. And a lot of folks, let's face it, they show up and they go, oh, I've been in the military for 3, 4, 8, 12 years, whatever it might be, or they've done all these other things. I'm going to sit down and talk about what they really want to do. What do they want to be when they grow up? And it's interesting because we start out looking at one job and it might be something totally different. What makes this work is the wraparound approach is my partners. Holy moly, there are so many great resources in Clackamas County for veterans that our partnerships are, vocational rehabilitation, both from the VA as well as the state. The work that we're doing with our housing, a lot of homeless vets. So working with Clackamas County Social Services and the housing support there with Aaron and Tito and all those guys have been just fantastic. Our VSOs, those are folks I'm talking to all the time. And if they come in and they need a resource, I'll do a hot handoff with them. I'll, make sure that they get to that. We'll set up appointments. But also, if it's part of the plan that we've developed. And next thing you know, we're looking at getting their skills tuned up. Maybe the community college has got some stuff going with WIOA, and we develop a plan. A lot of this comes into play. And oh, there's the phone.
Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
If I can just shout your praises here. When I first came into the Veterans Rental Assistance Program, one of the people that Ken got a job ended up actually incoming out of our program. Now, to income out of our program, you have to start making over, believe it's $46,000 a year. He was incomed out within the his first year in the program within 9 months, if I recall correctly, the first 9 months that I was actually working with him. So I'm going to sing his praises and the good work that he's done with some of my vets as well. So thank you for that, Ken.
I appreciate that, Tito. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, it really is about developing those plans and getting the resources to the right, you know, in the right spots. And again, it's a lot of times finding out what doesn't work is just as important as what does work. And this is all in-person services. I mean, our resource room has been open, and it's on the next slide. I'll get to that in a minute, but our resource room has been all open completely during the pandemic. We've been seeing veterans through the entire time here, and but a lot of times I'm meeting them in parking lots or in parks or wherever they're needed to be. That's kind of important because a lot of them have never utilized some of those services and didn't even know they exist. And a lot of times it's what they don't know that can be a real big boon that we could find out and work together. So with that, I'm going to throw a shameless little note in here that we are hiring for another job developer. The position is open at the county, and we are looking for a part-time or full-time position on a limited duration, but we're working on that. And they would be working directly with me, and we're going to be adding more because let's face it, I still miss out on a lot of work that could have been done. And there's a lot more to do. So we're hoping to bring somebody on pretty soon. With that being said, I'll give you a little bit of statistics from last year. During the worst part of the pandemic, I worked directly with 32 veterans served. I'm not gonna, those are hard serving placements, and those are hard to serve individuals that really needed extra help. The 22 that were employed, I think our wage was over $23 last year. Right now, I think our last a little bit was around $20 an hour. It's, you know, we're always looking for the better wage. We're always looking for the resources that's going to make them self-sufficient. And, you know, sometimes they only want to just go get a gas job or something. We don't look for those. I want to know what they want to be down the road, look at it 10 years from now. And the training opportunities are fantastic. Just in the OJTs, on the job trainings, work experience through Clackamas County, as well as if they're in, say, let's say they're in TANF, and they have a Jobs Plus opportunity, then I'll partner with that agency. I'll make the placement, and they're going to get into a job that's going to pay a lot of money, and that employer is going to get some economic development returns on that. And that includes, you know, work opportunity tax credits. I teach a lot of employers about tax credits, hiring veterans. So we spent a little bit of money last year. This year, we're going to spend even a little bit more, but the returns are going to be more than 32. I'm scheduled to work with about 40 per year, and in plan, and we're going to beat that. We've almost got that number now, and we're only a little bit more than halfway through. So, but some really cool opportunities that have been happening. Amy, if you could hit that next slide real quick. Thank you. So as I'm talking about some of these other programs and services that I partner with, The Jobs Plus program, STEP with the employment department. Larry was asking me about that. I mean, there's some really neat opportunities for folks, and I encourage you to find out more on your own. But this is somebody that would be not in TANF, but we need to put in some, maybe they need a laptop, or they just need some help developing some training skills. That is available to them. The Employment Investment Program is one of our programs that if I get a veteran that is been referred to me, several have, and maybe they have a dishonorable discharge. Well, rather than running them through all the stuff that they would need through me, I can use Chris at our EIP program, and they get served in basically the same fashion. Our Employment Training Center is open, been open for a long time. 423 people. A lot of those were veterans multiple times, but it's just nice having 7 computers here where they could come, sit down, fill out applications, do Zoom interviews, because we know that's happening an awful lot. We have a station just for that. So if that's what's needed, that's what we do. And then, our pandemic assessment here, 273 employed. That's the work of our whole entire organization here. That's not just from me. So, Amy, if you could step it back to that number 1. I mean, if there's any questions along the way here, please stop me. But I just want to kind of give you a couple of examples of what it might be. If somebody comes to me and they want to, they're not sure what they want to do, then we explore that. We take a lot of time and effort, and we also include the family. If there's family involved, we want to make sure that that's happening as well, because sometimes that influence can be great. A good one would be truck driving is an escalating occupation right now. You get a Class A CDL, you're going to get a job unless you don't want one. So with that being said, I've had a couple of vets, I've had several vets now that have gone through WIOA training or vocational rehabilitation training, and I partner with those organizations. Now, some of them are not open to the public. My relationship with them to contact them and make sure that paperwork flows, even if it's going to the back door and saying, hey, here, caseworker, here is the paperwork. Here's the, what do we need? What are we missing? Because that can just take nothing but time, and people miss out on those opportunities. My job is to make sure that those I's and T's get taken care of right off the bat. And it happens. And boy, I mean, the last guy that got out of our, the last, it was about a month ago, he got his Class A CDL training, $26 an hour to start with. And that was his training wage. It goes up from there once he gets into the over the road dollars. He's a success. He's, this last month he's been doing fantastic. There's lots of examples like that. And we've even gone so far as to help him. We have one vet that started his own business, micro enterprising. Always want to support that. I love it. If I can get somebody to have them build their own business. So here's another shameless entryway into an opportunity. Jim's Quick Draw is one of our veterans. He was an armorer for many years. He's now owns his own repair business, firearms repair business in Gladstone. It's called Jim's Quick Draw. I mean, and he's coming back and he's supporting veterans. We are actually handing out some gun cases for suicide prevention work. And those have been coming in, and the gun cases are fantastic. And Jim's been a real good support in that. But I say all that, just, there's so many avenues of supporting somebody to get them into a job and get them moving in the right direction. So I could sit here and talk a lot about employment opportunities. And let me say, everybody gets a resume, applications, interviewing skills, practice, all those things come into play. But if you guys have any questions about what we've got going on, please feel free. Okay, all right. Well, let me see here. I need to put, if I could put this, I'll put my email in the chat real quick. Right there. Boom. So there's my email. If you have any questions, email is the best way to get in touch with me. I could put my phone number on there as well. I'll put that in there, but I'm also out in the community an awful lot. Oh, and let me also say one thing too, is the Veterans Village has been one of our partners that has been just fantastic. I'm out there 2, 3, 4 times a week, depending on what's needed. I've got a lot of those folks in plan. Some of them have been very successful and have moved out and are now doing quite well. Some are actually coming back and providing support to veterans themselves. But that's a vulnerable population that just needs an extra lot of work. Do Good of Multnomah has been taking care of that. They do the case management there as well as up at Clayton Moore, and I'm at both of those locations. But yeah, if they get somebody at the Veterans Village and they are looking for help with a job, then I'll go over there. We sit down, we develop case plans with them, and with their navigation and their case worker over at the village through Do Good, we get an awful lot accomplished. And that is also helping veterans in Clackamas County get into the village. So yeah, many hats to wear in this industry. So with that being said, if nobody else has any questions, again, my partnerships make the difference.
And there is one question in the chat for you. Where's your office?
My office is downtown Oregon City, 112 11th Street. I'm right next to Clackamas Auto Parts, and we're part of the bus stop down here. It's in room 112. And again, we have vets down here all the time, every day. And there's, you know, yeah, that's where we're at. It's right downtown Oregon City. Another thing I ought to bring up too is if you have family members of veterans that aren't a veteran themselves, I'll definitely be able to support them. I can't put them in plan or pay money on them. I do have a small pot of funds for support services and training, but by golly, I've got other resources that we can get them into, and it's a, you know, a warm, hot handoff to get them into the right areas. So again, if you've got folks looking for work in Clackamas County, please feel free to get in touch with me. I'll put my information a little bit better in the chat. I stuck my name in there and who I was, but hit the wrong button and I sent that in a long time ago. So I'll redo it here in a minute. No questions? Wow, tough crowd.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There has been some fantastic successes. There has also been some big challenges. And again, rather than, you know, what doesn't work is just as important as what does work. And seeing some of these folks come back and so successful. And you know, I'll be honest with you, half of what I do is also with employers. The economic development side of what I do has been huge. There's a lot of businesses, everybody's hiring. We want to make a good fit. And I've encouraged employers, there's several of them here, Cranston Machinery, Willamette Falls Paper Company, several of these folks, great living wage jobs. And then they're moving them on up through the system. They're making some really good money. It's fun when I see them making more money than I am. So, which is always a good goal. But yeah, great partnerships with those employers too.
Well, it's hard for veterans to transition their skills into civilian language. And so we need people like you that can do that for them.
I just want to say also that beyond what singing Ken's praises, Ken is definitely one of the partners that when we use the phrase, it takes a village, he's one of those guys. Vet Village as well, Multnomah County, and for that matter, the clinicians that I work with, there has been many times where it took several different agencies to make sure that the veteran is stably housed. And it was a transitional process throughout the entire thing. Vet Village, to getting into a housing program, to getting a job, to getting into mental health or substance use treatment. And it's great examples as to what happens when it all comes together and works right. So I just can't say enough about that. So when it works, it works.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I spend a lot of time with what we call person-centered planning, which is taking a veteran and looking at all the different resources that are available to them, and then bringing those resources to the table. And a lot of times, because programs are closed, we meet here at my office or our office, and we sit down as a group and, well, you're going to handle this, you guys taking care of that, and we just knock out that plan and that list, and then we can communicate. Again, my partnerships make the difference. If I didn't have those in every resource that I can get my hands on, I try to make that happen. And boy, that's what makes it work. It's a phone call away or an email away, and we always try to make that happen. So it is working. It's working great. I'd like to see more, and I'm hoping to hire somebody very soon that can double our efforts a little bit more.
Well, thank you, Ken. I appreciate that and all the work that you do. And actually that leads us to our next agenda item. How do we hire more Kens? Get some more of you on there, and that would be great. Thank you so much for everything you do and all the hard work. That information is I don't know, it's it's heartwarming. It really is. Success stories. That's what we're trying to do. Next on the agenda is member update. I know that we have 3 new members that introduce themselves here early on at the beginning. Do we have any other member updates? Larry, I see your hand up.
One of the things I was asked to do, and it's been difficult, and I guess Gus is already off the line, but was looking for groups that they could go talk to. And I only found one. Like I found 2, but one of them is National Native American Rehabilitation, a Association of the Northwest. And I talked to it. I was introduced to a older Indian, American Indian, and we talked about it for what he did and so forth for an hour and a half. But they seem to have a pretty good sized organization. But when I asked him, what do you do about veterans? So we got everything handled. I've heard that before, but I'm going to pass that on to Gus and them. Real quick on another couple things. I did a quick Google, and the VA calls them African American veterans because they have a couple programs, and other just regular ones call it Black veterans. So just in case you want to find out what to do, or somebody wants to talk to those organizations, it's just do a Google and they come up. Okay.
Thank you, Larry. Any other updates, member updates? How many seats do we have open right now, Amy?
Currently, we have 5.
And 2 of those are reserved for family members, right? Veterans or no, or 1 now? Remind me again.
We can take in some more family members. It's okay.
Yeah, for family members, we don't have a lower limit, but we have an upper limit. So they're not necessarily reserved for veteran family members, but we do limit the number of non-veterans who are on the council.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Gus, I see your hand up.
Yeah, just real quick, just only because Larry mentioned outreach. I just wanted to do a real quick plug for Felicia. Today, she did the first of a mini series of Zoom outreach events that we're hosting from our office to try to spark different ways to do outreach during this pandemic time. We had 3 participants and seemed like there was some pretty good questions in there. So you're going to see a few more of those over the next few months, but I just wanted to plug that and just let folks know that we are starting to do some of our outreach efforts and working with Larry on some of that. And Larry, I will be interested in hearing more about that connection you made and seeing what we can do. So thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Gus. Appreciate it. If there's no other member updates, then we move to public comment. Is there anyone from the public here attending the meeting currently? I'm guessing we don't have anybody here. No one from the public has a comment to make. Okay. And that is the last thing on the agenda. It looks like we're a little bit early. Does anybody have a personal announcement they'd like to make? Just to let you know, I'm actually expecting my first child in July. So that's right, a son. We're having a boy. So, and he's going to be named after a war hero, a friend of mine, a brother actually that served overseas. So I'm really excited about that.
Was there a Marine?
Yes, sir. Of course. I wouldn't name him if he was a soldier. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I always laugh about that. My wife and I had 2 kids, and they ended up with 16 years of college. So you are just beginning the trip. All of us that have been there understand.
It's like getting on the bus again. Right?
RB has a question.
Yes, RB, go ahead.
Unmute yourself.
Thank you.
You're on mute.
Yeah, I thank you very much. As an elderly gentleman, I assume, Tito, that when you said it was the child going to be a Marine, the first name might be Jar. Is that at all a possibility? But I wanted to mention that the college student services are doing kind of a soft opening in the week of the 7th March. So theoretically, we're going to be reopened. The whole thing has been remodeled, so nothing works. But so it's not being widely advertised because it's going to be as frustrating as it being closed. But we should be up and running pretty quick thereafter, and should be open for business on a normal business hour schedule. It's been frustrating for a lot of students, obviously. And then we're going to do a vet center grand reopening somewhere between May and midsummer, just based upon when the college will allow us to do it, based upon their back to pandemic rules for events and numbers of people and social distancing and all those types of things. So hopefully we're targeting late May would be ideal, but it might get bumped. So that's all the encouraging stuff. And congratulations on your baby.
Thank you very much. And yes, Jar is probably going to be a middle name at this point. If no, Chesty also, yeah, that's a good one. If anybody else, no one else has any other updates or anything they'd like to present to the group, then I will take a motion to adjourn. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, guys.